Oh, Texas. Hello, world. Hello, YouTube. Hello, everybody. By the way, this is White Deer, Texas. But, anyways, when you have politicians, law enforcement, government agencies run by one corporation called the United States of America in capital letters, which you can actually look that up, we're paying taxes to a corporation. We're paying ransom. When you have politicians so worried about taking guns away from law-abiding, responsible Americans, and they allow somebody like this trans activist to go in and kill little girls that were trying to pull the fire alarm to save people's lives. When you have politicians so worried about gun control, you have news agencies that are lying and saying that they had an AR-15 when they had a Kel-Tec Sub 2000 9mm. When you have news media that is owned by these corporations, these billion-dollar corporations like BlackRock and everybody else, owned by these billionaires that are talking about a one-world government and everything else, the same ones that own our politicians, the same ones that own our law enforcement, the same ones that our law enforcement will follow orders with blindly without questioning. When you have law enforcement out there running amok, and good law enforcement doing what they did in Nashville, the good law enforcement don't get enough. They really don't get enough. These two officers need to get a hero's welcome. That little girl needs to get a hero's welcome. When you have cowards that are hiding behind this computer screen saying that you got to give up your gun rights and you got to bow down and kiss his alphabet soup cult members boots, and you got to listen to them, and then they're calling on Twitter, they're calling for violence against those people that disagree with them. When you got all this stuff going on, the satanic blood drinking Hollywood stars and rap singers and everybody else talking about killing each other, drinking children's blood, doing all this, and stupid women running around buck naked basically on a red carpet, on a carpet meant for blood. That's all that carpet is. It's a blood carpet. That means they sold their souls to walk down that carpet. When you got all this stuff going on, you know your country is lost. When you got people that can't afford cars because everything's so inflated and they have to live in something like that, the price of homes are so inflated that retired people have to burn up their whole retirement to try to support themselves. Me. Yes, I made a mistake retiring when I did, I think, personally, but I gotta live with my choices. When you got news that refused to talk about the black on black crime and the 151 gang members that were arrested recently, and you can look that up, it's on YouTube. When you got law enforcement out there that are working gratefully and trying to bust these criminals on a daily basis, but yet the ones that are looking like assholes and looking like jerks, and the ones that are violating the rights and the freedom of the American people over the stupidest crap, collecting revenue for this tyrannical government, that's when you know your country is messed up. When you got law enforcement out there so willing to arrest you over your First Amendment right, your Second Amendment right, they're so willing to follow orders blindly without questioning, or make up laws on the fly just so they can arrest you, bitch, because they don't like you and they get butthurt. You know your country's messed up. When you got the school board members allowing books, pornographic books, into schools, you know your country is lost. When you got these people that are talking about climate change and all this other stuff, and they're pushing the Green New Deal onto the American public, brainwashing people with propaganda and pushing all this crap and this junk, and these pedophile rings and these human trafficking rings running amok in this country. You know your country's lost. Until the American people wake up and start saying we want accountability on our law enforcement, accountability in our local government, accountability in our federal government, accountability for the federal government, the corporation to go away, and the American people to stand up and take back our country the way it's supposed to be, I don't see this country getting any better. I'm telling you right now, until the American people tell this corporation called the United States of America to go to hell and stop paying taxes to them and stop allowing our taxes to go to Ukraine where the Nazi soldiers hide. Stop giving our money to the CIA and stop giving our money to the FBI and stop giving our money to all these different organizations that don't represent the people. They represent their own interest. The ATF, they represent their own interest. They want to violate the rights of the American people. All these different government agencies are not for the people anymore. Never were, really, tell you the truth. See, the Democratic Party has been that party of terrorism and propaganda and lies and racism and everything else and all this perversion that's going on in America. The Democratic Party is that. Until we shut them down, until we shut down all these federal government funded organizations, the CIA preferably first, I don't see this country changing. But I do see one thing that is very beautiful and very great. That tells me right there that God is still great, God is still awesome, and God is still in control. But I don't see this country changing. Because if you turn your back on God, God will turn your back on him, on you. See, God has mentioned in the Bible that if a nation turns its back against him, he will turn his back against them. And right now, we are allowing satanic pedophiles and satanic people to run this country. These people that don't care about you, that would rather see you killed and murdered. Hillary Clinton is one of them, that will have you murdered if you talk against her. Oprah Winfrey, she will have you murdered. All these people will put you, falsely accuse you of something and do smear campaigns. And Nancy Pelosi has talked about that many times. The smear campaigns, you wrap up a smear and you make them sound horrible until we destroy these people. I mean, absolutely destroy these people. And then also start bringing back public hanging or execution. Or we execute these people instead of letting them live on death row for 20 years, 30 years. It's not going to change. Because every time a gang member goes to prison or somebody goes to prison, they get clout. They get all this power, and they get trained how to be better criminals in prison. See, when they go to prison, that's a ranking system. When they go to prison, we're feeding them. We're paying for their health care. We're paying these corporations that are run by the same corporation that owns the media, the same corporations that own everything. We're paying them to feed these people. Until we change that system, change our judicial system, and do what these cops did, and just take the stupid shooter out just as fast as you can. I don't see it changing. Until the American people stop saying, hey, you know, looking up the other direction and saying, hey, I support the blue no matter what they do, commit crimes, we don't care, we're just going to look the other direction. No, you need to look at all the truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. Because truth is exactly what it is. If your local government is corrupt, you need to know about it. If your local law enforcement is corrupt, you need to know about it. If your federal government is corrupt, if your government agencies, government law enforcement agencies are corrupt, you need to know about it. You need to know everything that your government is doing. Until people wake up and start asking questions, following our government around and holding our government accountable for everything, including Hunter Biden and his laptop. Until we start asking questions of why our food distribution centers are burning down, our farms are being polluted by these government agencies. They ain't here to help you. They're here to hold you back. They're not here to let you be creative and be a free thinker. They're not here for that. No, even the government-run schools and the colleges and the universities are not here to help you. They're here to hold you back. Until we get people to wake up and know the truth, I don't see America changing. I do see people trying to change and trying to wake people up and saying the same thing on so many different channels and so many different platforms, saying the same thing. But yet you have these people that are saying, oh, but the trans activists, oh my goodness, you got to feel sorry for her. No, I don't. Not when you shot a 9-year-old little girl trying to pull a fire alarm to warn the rest of the people. I don't have a bit of sympathy for her. And I will call her what she is. She's a her. I will not call a man a woman, because a man will never be a woman, and a woman will never be a man. God created them as they are, man and woman. You cannot change what God created. See, God created us different between men and women for a reason. Because women's bodies are different than ours. Women can withstand pain that we men would never understand. Until we start waking people up and saying that all this stuff that you're believing is nothing but propaganda, and it's nothing but a mass hypnosis of America. Until we start waking up, I don't see America changing too fast. I'm hoping and praying we do. I'm hoping and praying that everybody starts to wake up. I'm hoping and praying that this shooting says it's not the guns, it's the people that pull the trigger. See, because two good police officers pulled the trigger. They had the same guns that they argue about. These assault weapons, as they call them. No, the definition of assault is if I go out and assault you with anything from a screwdriver to brass knuckles. That's an assault weapon. I'm telling you. It ain't the gun. The gun ain't the assault weapon. I can pick up a 2x4, an axe handle, or something like that becomes an assault weapon. Until we recognize that, I don't see this country changing too fast. And I had to cut off the other video a minute ago because I was praying. I was praying for the family of that girl that pulled the alarm. She died doing what Uvalde police couldn't do. She died being more of a human being than Uvalde police would ever be. May that family have mercy under God's graceful hands, and may God hold them, because my prayers goes out for her. Wake up. Wake up, America. Please. Wake up, America. I'm telling you, if you don't wake up, we're going to see more of this and more. And we're going to see, we already see it on the streets of our cities, our big cities, Houston, Dallas, and all these other places where high crime rate is. We see it. We just turn our heads and ignore it. And they say, it's just black culture. It's just white culture. It's just this culture. It's just that culture. It's just whatever culture. Wake up. It's not culture. It's the sins of the people being expressed every day. It's those dead crying from the earth saying, you need to wake up. The blood of the people crying from the earth. The angels up in heaven saying, please wake up. The little children that are dying at the hands of the abortionist. Please wake up. Do I want you to, if you get an abortion, to go to the death penalty? No, I don't. I think that's between you and God. about murdering your baby. Do I think that you deserve the death penalty if you go have an abortion? No. Do I think the government has the right to tell a company like TikTok that they got to change? No, because it's a company. But the company must abide by our First Amendment. I do believe that. I think the gang members, drug dealers, and everybody needs to be held for every person that dies from the drugs they peddle on the street. I think our borders need to be secured with our military, and everybody telling everybody in the world, you don't come here unless you come the right way. We need to secure our borders. We need to do so much to this country to wake this country up and to get this country back on track. One man, Donald Trump, cannot do it alone. He cannot do it alone. He is not God. God is not... God's name ain't Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a good man. But Donald Trump needs help. He needs help from the people. Donald Trump can only do so much. See, when he said that it goes deep, the swamp is so deep, he meant it. The swamp is so deep. You need to drain the swamp from local levels on up to the federal government. And then beyond that, you need to drain the swamp. We're seeing the evidence of the swamp that has taken our children on a daily basis. The evidence of the swamp in Hollywood trying to tell us just to shut up and abide by their BS that they push. You got people on The View and all these other shows that are thinking that we're stupid. They think we're the most dumbest people in America and we're just going to fall for anything they say. So far, it's hard to convince me that we're not.
Oh, there you are.
But, yeah, you need to wake up, America. That was my wife, by the way. But you need to wake up, America. You need to recognize what's going on in America. Start at local level. Start holding people accountable. If they break the law, they need to be held to the law. So please, remember the families of these children and these teachers that were lost. God bless. Have a good night. May God protect you